Hey, what's going on? Luke here. Latrell Mitchell is out for 8 weeks, which means he's probably going to miss Origin Game 1. Now, I believe he could come back a little bit earlier. We all know it is possible. It's Latrell Mitchell. I wouldn't be surprised, especially for Origin. We've seen a lot of players come back early. Whether they're fit or not, they end up playing State of Origin. Now, I think Latrell Mitchell, I feel like he won't do that. If he's not actually fit, I don't think he'll try and force himself to play. And especially considering New South Wales have an abundance of centres who can actually play. And it's funny because both New South Wales centres are not actually centres. So I suppose when you look at replacements, it doesn't actually have to be a full out-and-out centre, but we're going to go through all of the options that could play centre for New South Wales in Game 1 now that Latrell Mitchell is most likely out. It's going to be a top 5. Now, it's not going to be a top 5 in order or anything. I'm just picking out 5 players who could potentially play there. I'm going to go through the pros and cons of them playing. Now, just about to take a look at the list, but before I do so, I need to mention that there is a sponsor of the video.
The sponsor for this video is BetU, and more specifically, EarnU. EarnU is a part of BetU and it allows you to place bets on NRL, AFL, cricket, and all major sports risk-free. You can even place bets on esports such as FIFA and League of Legends. You can even watch the esports events, so it makes it a little bit easier to make those bets. This is all done through BetU tokens, and you can win money through the tokens, as all profits and bets are done through the tokens. Yes, I just said tokens a lot. To get the tokens, you need to deposit into your account, and that will give you points to play with, and then you can use those points to make the bets. 1,000 BetU tokens equals 10 points to make bets with, so you kind of get the gist there. You can make bets individually, or you can join in on the rounds that they do. They do rounds each week, and within those rounds, they also have leaderboards, so you can make money a fair few ways on this platform. Now, I have a referral code in the description below. You can go ahead and click on that, or you can just go ahead and chuck in Mr. Luke where it allows you. Basically, this just shows that you saw my video and you've come across my video, so it really does help me if you do use my referral code. Once again, thank you to BetU and more importantly, EarnU for coming on board the channel. Guys, please gamble responsibly. You also have to be 18 plus as well. I mean, it is gambling after all, so you have to be 18 plus. But Australians, we love a little bit of a gamble, especially NRL fans. We love to have a little bit of a punt, especially me. So go ahead, use this platform, use BetU, use EarnU, and help support the people that support me.
Alrighty, time to get into this list. Starting off with the first player who could potentially replace Latrell Mitchell, and that is Stephen Crichton. Now, I think he's gone to another level for the Penrith Panthers in 2022. Obviously, he played a little bit of wing last year, but he's been predominantly a centre in first grade. But obviously, everybody remembers that intercept from the grand final. He essentially won the game for the Penrith Panthers. Not essentially, he did win the game for them, and he was playing on the wing. But that was really because they had such a strong side, and he was most effective on the wing because of the other players in the side. Now, going into 2022, Matt Burton's not there, Brent Nade is not there, Brian Toyo's been out. There's been a whole bunch of players who aren't there for the Penrith Panthers in 2022. So Stephen Crichton has gone back into the centres. Momorowski was another one, but he's gone back into the centres and he's gone from strength to strength. He has been absolutely unstoppable. I mean, the Penrith Panthers themselves have been unstoppable in 2022, but Stephen Crichton has been absolutely outstanding. Is he ready for State of Origin? I think he is. I really think he is. Going into last year, I know there was a lot of talk about him potentially being like a future Blues player, and it sort of died off when he started playing on the wing, but it's definitely back, and now Latrell Mitchell is out. I expect there to be a lot of talk about Stephen Crichton coming into this New South Wales Blues side, and also he plays on the left as well, I'm pretty sure, for the Panthers. At least he played there last year. He could be playing on the right this year, I can't really remember, but he did play on the left for the Panthers last year, so he is capable of playing on the left, he's capable of playing on the right. I feel like Trbojevic as well is quite versatile, and I think he'll be able to play on either side in that other centre role. So I don't think the sides matter too much, but Stephen Crichton is quite a versatile player. If there's any injuries through the game, you can sort of shift him around. He's played a bit of fullback, he's played a bit of wing, and he's played well in all positions. So you can't really go wrong with Stephen Crichton. He is a match winner, and I think he would look really good in a Blues jersey. The next player is a guy who actually forced Stephen Crichton onto the wing with Momorowski as well, but that player is Matt Burton. Now, he's gone to the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, but he did make his name in the centres for the Penrith Panthers, picking up centre of the year last year as well, despite him not really being a natural centre. Now, the more and more we see of Matt Burton, the more and more we see that maybe he actually is a natural centre who wants to play 5'8", but in terms of playing for New South Wales, I don't think he would look out of place at all. I think his defence is outstanding. He's obviously quite versatile. You can chuck him in any position, and I think he'd do a job for you. Defence is up there. He's got a lot of speed, and I do think he'd do a really, really good job in the Origin arena. Just the physicality of it, I think Matt Burton would be able to handle it. However, he doesn't play centre week in, week out, so that could be a bit of a problem. Whereas, you know, you guys like Stephen Crichton, they are going to be playing there week in, week out. They're not going to have to get used to swapping positions and coming in and playing out of position. Now, we've seen Latrell be able to do it, but he played for centre for a lot of years. He was predominantly a centre in the NRL. It's only really recently he's gone back to fullback. Tom Trbojevic, he's just a freak. He's not a normal player. Normal players aren't able to do what Tom Trbojevic does. Tom Trbojevic can just slot in so naturally into other positions. Now, we've seen Josh Dugan, we've seen Jack White, and a whole bunch of those sort of guys be able to shift positions, but Tom Trbojevic is just on another level where you could chuck him in literally any position and he'd probably be the best in that position. So in terms of Matt Burton moving to the Standards for State of Origin, I don't know if you necessarily want to do that considering he's been playing the whole season in the halves for the Bulldogs, but we did see he was able to shift into the centres very, very effortlessly for the Panthers last year. Won a premiership, won centre of the year, so we know he's capable, and I think he is a good option, especially with injuries and that sort of stuff. And I think he is a big chance because I feel like he's someone that Brad Fittler would like, and we've obviously seen in the past they don't mind picking players out of position. Speaking of players out of position, got to talk about someone who has played there in the past and is out of position. I don't necessarily agree with this one, but I feel like this is one that they definitely will consider, and that is Jack Whiten. We've seen in the past, as soon as there's an injury to the centres, they seem to just chuck Jack Whiten in. He's sort of in amongst the team all the time, whether it's playing 5'8", whether it's coming off the bench, whether it's playing in the centres. And what do we see here? We see a centre position open. Jack Whiten seems like a logical answer, at least to Brad Fittler. I know the general public is going to say, nah, we don't want Jack Whiten in the centres. I really don't want Jack Whiten in the centres. I think it's time that we actually play an out-and-out centre, but at the same time, they have shown in the past that they are willing to chuck guys who are just in amongst the squad and just chuck them into the centres. I heard them talk about Bradman Best, and they're like, oh, he's been in and around the squad, so we're going to consider him. But I feel like it'd be a bad move to chuck him in there. I feel like it'd be a bad move to chuck Jack Whiten in there. I'm kind of just sick of seeing players chucked in for the sake of it, and I feel like Jack Whiten, if he gets picked, it's purely because he's been there in the past. Nothing to do with his actual form. I mean, he's not playing bad for the Raiders, but we've seen him before play for New South Wales in the centres, and he's nothing spectacular. Even in general, when he plays for New South Wales, he doesn't really do a hell of a lot, whether it's 5'8", whether it's in the centres, whether it's off the bench. He doesn't do a lot, so I'm not that keen on seeing Jack Whiten play in the centres. I mean, we know what we're going to get out of Jack Whiten. We're going to get a guy who runs the ball hard, a guy who tackles hard, but just in terms of winning a game, replacing Latrell Mitchell, I don't think he's the man. And also, like I did mention there before, Bradman Best did get mentioned as well. He's not on this list, but I will just say that I don't think he's the option either. Honestly, with this list, it was a toss-up on whether to include Bradman Best or Jack Whiten as the players, and I feel like Jack Whiten's way more likely to get picked, but I did see Brad Fittler come out and say that Bradman Best is definitely an option. I was like, what am I missing here with Bradman Best? Every now and again, he does something good, but for the most part, I don't really see him do a hell of a lot for the Knights. Anyways, Bradman Best, he isn't on the list. I don't think he's going to get picked. We're going to talk about a player who I do think can get picked, and I think he is very, very likely. Zac Lomax from the Dragons. Now, I don't think he's been set the world on fire this year, but he has looked good at times, and the previous year, he did look really, really good as well. When the Dragons play well, it's all through Zac Lomax, and I think he's such a natural talent, and I feel like he would translate well into the Origin arena. He's got good size about him. He's got good movement. He can goal kick as well. I just think he's got great versatility. He's a great player. I think he plays on the right-hand side for the Dragons, so that could be a little bit of a problem, but as I said earlier, I feel like Trbojevic could move over to the left if needed. I feel like playing on the left, I feel like most of them probably want to play on the left. They just end up on the right-hand side. Feels like it's more of a natural side, but look, Zac Lomax, fantastic player, has been in amongst all these sides for years now. He's always been talked about for years as being a potential centre going forward. Just Latrell Mitchell were always there, so they haven't really had a proper chance, but to me, I feel like Zac Lomax is probably the next in line in terms of just looking at everybody overall. I know I haven't gone through the next player, but for me, I feel like Zac Lomax is the man, but it remains to be seen whether he's going to get picked. Like I said, he's just got the flick pass, he's good defense, he's good with the ball. He's just a very, very good overall centre. However, I feel like the Dragons' form really could hold him back though, because the Dragons aren't winning. I could also see his form slipping a fair bit, and maybe the confidence not being there, but just in terms of who Brad Fittler I see him picking, this is the sort of guy that he would pick, Zac Lomax. And now we move on to the last player on this list. I think this guy's also a big chance of playing if they want to actually go with an actual centre, and that is Campbell Graham. Now he, once again, has been in amongst the squad. I believe he was like 18th or 19th man last year, I think it was. Maybe it was the year before, but he's definitely been in the squad. He's been training with them, and he can play wing, he can play centre, but obviously they need the centre spot. He's been playing there fantastically for years now. I really, really rate Campbell Graham. Now, is he a Latrell Mitchell style centre? Definitely not, but are you going to get a very, very consistent centre center who's not really going to make any errors. You know exactly what you're going to get out of Campbell Graham, and that's what I like about Campbell. I think he's so consistent. We've seen him for years now for the Rabbitohs, whether it's been on the wing, whether it's been in the centers. He's just been fantastic for them. There's not too many games you look at and you say, geez, Campbell Graham's been poor today. It just doesn't happen. He's very, very good, although I think, once again, he plays on the right-hand side. Pretty sure Latrell plays on the left. Imagine this whole time I've been talking about left and right, and I've got them mixed up. But I think we're looking for a left center, and Campbell Graham plays right center. But I think they're so versatile these days, they could swap over, and I don't think you'd see too much of a difference. You got other guys like Jesse Ramian as well, who could be in the mix, but I think these are the 5 who realistically could get picked. And like I said, Bradman Best is another one who could get tossed up as well, depending on form. Obviously, all of this depends on form. Whoever's the form center going into game 1, I feel like they're probably going to get it. So Stephen Crichton, he plays for Panthers. They're always going to be winning. I think he'll be right up there. I think even guys like Gutherson and maybe even like Pappenhaus and Nico Hines, all those guys who are playing really, really well despite playing another position, I feel like there's always going to be calls for them to get chucked into the centers or just to try and work a way to get them into the side. They've done it in the past with Gutherson and it didn't work, but there's always going to be shouts for that sort of stuff. Actually, the biggest one, I can't believe I actually forgot about this. The most likely person is probably going to be Tony Staggs, and I didn't even mention him. So I guess he's going to be a top 6, but I'm really going to call it a top 5. I actually don't even know when I'm going to title it, but Tony Staggs definitely has to be mentioned. I can't believe that. I guess he's just been out so long with so many injuries that I kind of forgot about him. However, when he's fit, when he's in form, I think he's definitely the best out of these bunch. He's just so damaging with the ball. And I know there's been a lot of talk about the Broncos not giving him the ball enough, but I feel like the last couple of weeks he's actually looked alright. Defense is a little bit questionable at times, however, I feel like all of these guys have got a few question marks over them. There's always something a little bit missing. Whether it's they don't have the X factor about them, defense is a little bit suspect, or there's just always something. But I feel like a Tony Staggs is definitely a chance, and I can't believe I actually missed that one. So I'm so glad that I ended up sort of having a little bit more of a think about it and remembered him, because that would have been so embarrassing if I didn't mention Tony Staggs, because he's definitely going to be a popular one. I can see him getting picked easily, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of talk, a lot of calls for Tony Staggs to end up playing in the centers for the Blues in 2022. However, that was the list. Hopefully, guys did enjoy it. With Latrell Mitchell being out, I feel like there's going to be a lot of players tossed up. So leave in the comment section below who's going to get picked for New South Wales. Is it going to be a guy like Lomax? Is it going to be a Tony Staggs? Is it going to be a Crichton, a Burton? Is it going to be a Whiten? Is it going to be some of those sort of players? Bradman Best? Someone else? Someone completely different? Let me know in the comment section below. Anyways, guys, hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, make sure you go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also, make sure to use the notification bell. Don't rely on the sub boxes. Use the notification bell and never miss any of my videos. Also, go ahead and chuck us a follow on social media. It's on the screen right now. It's Mr. Luke and YT for the most part. My Facebook's Mr. Luke, but everything else, including Snapchat, including TikTok, is Mr. Luke and YT. Give me a follow, give me an ad, do all that sort of stuff. Also, I do need to mention, once again, the sponsor of this video, Earn You. Thank you for coming on board the channel. I do have a referral code. It is Mr. Luke. Chuck that in when you're signing up, or just click on the link in the description below. It'll do it for you. So go ahead and do that. Thank you, Earn You, for coming on board the channel. And guys, that's the end of this video. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Stay tuned for more content on the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. See yous.